Have you ever shared something personal online and later wish you hadn't? Maybe it was a relationship update, a financial win, or even a painful confession. In a world where oversharing is the norm, it's time we ask ourselves, is it really necessary to let the world in on everything? Or are we slowly giving away our power, one post at a time? Why do we feel the need to share everything? Who really benefits when we overshare? Can privacy be a source of peace, strength, and protection? Now, let's dive in. In today's digital age, we become more connected than ever before. With just a few taps, we can let the world know what we're thinking, feeling, eating, celebrating, or even struggling with. And while that connection can be a beautiful thing, there's a quiet danger that many of us overlook. It's called oversharing. We live in a time where it's normal to post about our relationships, our income, our arguments, our heartbreaks, and even our healing process publicly. Sometimes we share so openly that we forget the boundaries that protect our personal lives. We might tell a friend every single detail of our private issues, or post an emotional story online that we haven't even finished processing ourselves. Now ask yourself gently, have I ever shared something just to feel heard, even if I wasn't ready for others to hold it? Sharing is not bad, but sharing too much too soon with the wrong people can quietly work against us. A lot of us were never taught how to process our emotions in healthy ways. So we turn to what's easy and familiar. We pour our hearts out online. We treat social media like a diary. But here's the truth. The internet is not your therapist. It's not your safe space. It's a stage. And not everyone in the audience is clapping for you. When we emotionally dump online, we often expose wounds that haven't healed. Invite comments and opinions we didn't ask for. Give strangers power over our peace. There's strength in vulnerability, yes, but only when it's shared with care, intention, and safety. These days, everyone wants to be real and raw online. We applaud transparency. We say, I'm just being honest, or I want to show the real me. But let's pause and ask ourselves, is this honesty or is this me oversharing because I want validation? There's a difference between authenticity and exposure. Being real doesn't mean broadcasting your every emotion. Sometimes, being real means sitting with your feelings quietly, growing in silence, and choosing who really deserves to see the deeper parts of you. Let this be a humble reflection, not a judgment. Many of us overshare without realizing. We're not trying to be dramatic. We just want to be understood, supported, or seen. But here's the line you must protect. There's a thin line between being real and revealing too much. Are you crossing it without realizing? That line is the boundary between empowerment and regret. Oversharing doesn't make you weak, but protecting your story makes you wise. Not everyone deserves to know your process. Not every part of your life is meant for the spotlight. You don't have to explain, prove, or perform your journey for the world. Sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is to heal in private and let your growth speak for itself. In a world constantly connected through screens, timeline, and status updates, the line between sharing and oversharing is easy to cross, often without even realizing it. Let's take a gentle, honest look at why people tend to overshare, not to judge, but to understand. Let's be honest. We all want to be seen, acknowledged, and valued. It's human, but sometimes that desire for validation pushes us to reveal too much. A personal story posted online gets dozens of likes and supportive comments. It feels good. A photo of your new car, new house, or emotional breakdown brings a flood of attention. You feel noticed. But here's the question we often forget to ask. At what cost? Validation can be addictive. And when it becomes a reason we constantly post, we're no longer sharing out of joy or truth. We're sharing out of need. That's when it begins to harm us. Because if the approval stops, we feel invisible. And that's a dangerous place to live emotionally. Oversharing is sometimes a silent cry for help. Maybe you're battling anxiety and feel isolated, so you post about it to feel less alone. Or you're afraid people will forget you, so you remind them you exist through constant updates. Maybe you feel not good enough, so you overshare achievements or struggles, hoping someone reassures you. These feelings are valid. And yes, it's okay to express emotions. But when social media becomes your therapy couch, you risk replacing true healing with momentary relief. And sadly, not everyone who sees your vulnerability will treat it with care. There's a deep desire in most of us to matter. We want people to notice us, not just physically, but emotionally. Oversharing sometimes stems from that ache to say, "This is who I am. This is what I've been through. Please see me." It's a very human desire, and often comes from past experiences of feeling ignored, overlooked, or silenced. But the danger is when we start putting our identity on display for the approval of others, instead of finding that identity from within. When the world is your audience, you're vulnerable to both applause and criticism. And the question becomes, are you being seen for who you truly are, or for what you're projecting? Let's not underestimate this one. You see others sharing their drama, their pain, their wins, and getting attention for it. So you think, well, maybe I should share mine too. It becomes a competition of vulnerability, where depth is measured by how much you reveal. But real life is a reality show. Just because everyone's doing it doesn't mean it's wise. Privacy may not be trending, but it's still powerful. You don't need to expose your journey just to stay relevant. Is your vulnerability empowering you or exposing you? Take a moment to really sit with that question. Are your shares building deeper, authentic connections? Or are they opening wounds that haven't fully healed? Are they helping you grow, or just attracting temporary attention? Are you in control of your story, or giving people ammunition to use against you? There's nothing wrong with being open. There's strength in vulnerability. But oversharing often comes from wounds, not wisdom. And when we heal, we learn that not every story needs an audience. Some just need peace. Let's talk about something most of us don't realize: the hidden cost of oversharing. Yes, it may feel like you're just expressing yourself, being honest, being real. But sometimes, in the name of transparency, we unknowingly open the door to pain we never asked for. When we overshare, especially in a moment of anger or emotional vulnerability, we often reveal things that weren't meant to be said, at least not out loud, or not yet. You might share intimate details about a partner, a friend, or a family member in the heat of the moment. But what happens when things get better? When wounds heal and peace returns? The words you spoke out of pain don't disappear. And the people who heard them, whether online or in person, remember, trust is fragile. Once it's broken, even accidentally, it takes time to rebuild. Just because you're hurting doesn't mean everyone deserves the raw details. Some things are better shared in healing spaces, not public places. This one is subtle, but real. Not everyone who claps for you is happy for you. When you share your wins, your new job, relationship, or financial breakthrough, some people may celebrate you to your face, but secretly resent you in their hearts. Your joy can unintentionally trigger their insecurity, and that can lead to gossip, backbiting, or even sabotage. The truth is, not everyone is mature enough to handle your growth, and when you give too much access, you make yourself an easy target for silent competitors. Ask yourself, do they need to know this, or do I just want to be seen? The more personal details you put out there, the more room people have to twist your story. You might be sharing your truth, but the internet, or even close acquaintances, can turn your vulnerability into entertainment. They might misquote you, label you, or make assumptions that are far from accurate. Even worse, some might take advantage of your pain. You said it to vent. They used it to hurt you. You thought you were just venting, but did you accidentally hand someone the knife they used to hurt you later? Sometimes silence is a shield. Your private battles don't always need public witnesses. In the moment, it feels right. You want to speak your mind, post the truth, or respond to that situation. But what about tomorrow? Next month? 5 years from now? Will you be proud of what you said? Will you still feel okay knowing your private life became public history? Because the internet doesn't forget. Screenshots live forever. And even offline, words once spoken can't be taken back. What you overshare today may become the reason you feel exposed or shamed later. You can be open without being naked. You can be expressive without being exposed. So before you speak, post, or share, pause. Ask yourself, is this necessary? Am I seeking healing or attention? Will this bring peace or problems? Privacy isn't about secrecy. It's about protecting what matters. It's about honoring your journey in sacred, silent ways. You owe the world your light, not your wounds. There's something incredibly powerful about choosing to keep parts of your life sacred, not hidden out of fear, but private out of wisdom. Let's break down why privacy is not weakness, but rather one of the greatest strengths you can develop in today's oversharing world. Privacy is a protector. It shields your mind, your emotions, and your identity from unnecessary noise. When you overshare, especially in vulnerable moments, you open doors for others to weigh in, judge, and even mock what they don't understand. And sometimes people don't intend harm, but their opinions still leave a dent. When you keep some parts of your life private, you protect your peace like a fortress. You give yourself room to grow, heal, and think without interference. You preserve your dignity because you're not placing your heart out in the open for the world to dissect. When you're constantly updating people on your every move, you lose control of your own narrative. When everyone knows everything, you leave no room for growth and silence. Privacy gives you the ability to shape your story with intention, not reaction. You can choose what to share, when to share it, and how to share it, on your terms, not under pressure. You become the author of your life, not a character reacting to an audience's applause or criticism. Let's be honest, not everyone who listens is listening to understand. Some are watching to criticize, some are taking notes to compete, and some are comparing your journey with theirs, not realizing your paths are different. By keeping your personal wins, losses, and plans to yourself, you protect your soul from the toxicity of public opinion. Privacy acts like a filter. It keeps the negative energy out and your focus locked in. Think about this. The most respected people aren't always the loudest. They don't brag about what they're doing. They just do it. And when results show up, people can't help but notice. There's something deeply magnetic about people who move quietly. They seem focused, grounded, powerful. Mystery is not about hiding. It's about honoring what matters to you enough not to parade it for attention. When you keep your private matters private, you send a clear message. I don't need applause. I'm committed to my growth, whether you see it or not. That energy builds inner strength, self-trust, and personal discipline. And over time, that's what people genuinely respect. The most powerful moves are made in silence. Let results speak louder than updates. Let that quote sink in. Silence doesn't mean you're doing nothing. It means you're doing something meaningful away from noise. Privacy isn't about being secretive. It's about being wise. Not everything has to be posted, shared, or explained. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is to simply live, grow, and heal in peace. In a time where it's so easy to share every detail of our lives, there's something sacred, something strong about keeping certain things to yourself. Not because you're hiding, but because you're healing, because you're protecting your peace. Let's talk about 5 powerful areas of your life that deserve your silence and your wisdom. We all love to share happy moments with someone we care about, whether it's a sweet date night anniversary post or just showing off a perfect partner. But here's the truth. Your relationship isn't performance. It's a private partnership. Sharing too much about your love life, especially during disagreements, breakups, or even intimate milestones, can invite opinions that are not needed, add pressure to perform a certain image, give outsiders space to interfere, envy, or manipulate. What's sacred grows stronger in silence. Your love doesn't need an audience, just understanding, trust, and commitment behind closed doors. Whether you just got a raise, launched a business, or finally paid off a debt, the urge to post it can feel strong. On the flip side, financial struggles can feel isolating, and you may want to vent. But here's why it's wise to keep your financial life discreet. Success can attract silent envy or fake friendships. Struggles may cause people to look down on you or pity you in the wrong way. Not everyone around you has good intentions. Your bank account is not your identity. Celebrate your wins in private. Heal your struggles in peace. Your money story is personal and still unfolding. We often feel excited to announce our next big move, career change, relocation, engagement, or any dream we're working on. But announcing your plans too early can expose you to unnecessary doubt, pressure, or spiritual resistance, attract negativity or silent sabotage, shift your focus from progress to proving something. Move in silence. Let your results make the noise. The most successful people plan quietly and execute faithfully. Let your life surprise them, not satisfy their curiosity. It's tempting to vent about that argument you had with your sibling, parent, or even your partner. Sometimes, family stress feels like too much to carry alone, but putting it out in the open is often a mistake. Why? Most conflict are temporary, but what you post can last forever. Outsiders will judge without context. You may resolve the issue privately, but damage your family's image publicly. Protect your home with silence, not because you're hiding pain, but because you're choosing wisdom over noise. Not every battle is meant for the internet. Vulnerability is powerful, but only when it's coming from a healed place. Sharing deep wounds while you're still bleeding can lead to more harm than help. People may not understand or may minimize your pain. Your story could be used against you in ways you never imagined. You may mistake temporary validation for true healing. Heal in private. Share in strength. When the wound becomes a scar, then you can speak with power, not pain. Your healing is not a performance. It's a process. Treat it with care. Privacy isn't secrecy. It's protection. It's knowing the value of silence in a world that demands noise. When you hold certain things close, you're not being cold. You're being wise. You're keeping your energy sacred. You're choosing peace over performance. Oversharing often happens in the heat of the moment, when we're emotional, excited, hurt, or just seeking connection. But before you hit post, take a deep breath and ask, what am I hoping to get from sharing this? Is it validation, comfort, attention? Is it coming from a place of confidence or pain? A short pause can reveal a lot. Sometimes that moment of reflection is all you need to realize. This isn't something I need to share. This is something I need to process. You're allowed to keep moments to yourself. Not every feeling is content. Not every thought needs a platform. Social media has become a public diary for many, but not all wounds need witnesses. Instead of venting online, try this. Write your thoughts in a journal. Speak your feelings into a voice note just for you. Use apps that help you express without publishing. Journaling gives your emotions a safe home, a place where they won't be judged, misinterpreted, or weaponized. You can say, I realize I don't need likes to feel heard. I just need to hear myself clearly. Oversharing doesn't only happen online. It happens in conversations too. Maybe you've poured your heart out to someone, only to feel exposed or even betrayed later. That's where boundaries come in. You don't need to tell everyone everything. Some people simply haven't earned the right to know your story. Instead, ask yourself, is this person emotionally safe? Have they shown respect for my vulnerability before? Not everyone you talk to is meant to carry your burdens with care. Share wisely, not widely. We live in a time where being private is mistaken for being secretive or distant. But in reality, mystery is strength. Solitude is healing. When you keep some parts of your life tucked close to your heart, you give them room to grow without interference, noise, or judgment. Let people see your light, not every flicker behind the scenes. Some of your biggest blessings will come quietly. Let them bloom in silence. It's tempting to share while you're still hurting, to post during the storm instead of after the rainbow. But here's the danger. When you speak from a wound, the message is often messy. When you speak from a scar, it's clear, powerful, and rooted in wisdom. Take time to process your pain before turning it into a post. Let your healing be real, not performative. When you heal in private, your peace speaks louder than your pain ever could. Not everyone deserves front row seats to your personal life. Some things grow best in silence. Your life isn't a public show. You don't owe the world a constant update. Sometimes the best thing you can do for your peace, your relationships, and your purpose is to go quiet, go inward, and grow in the shadows. In a loud world, privacy is your superpower. Let your silence speak volumes. You don't owe the world your every thought, moment, or emotion. Keep some things sacred. Protect your peace, because not everything is content. Some things are meant to stay yours. Remember, your peace begins where your privacy lives. Not everyone deserves access to your story. So protect your energy, guard your boundaries, and never forget, Don't overshare. Privacy is power. If this message hit home, like, comment, and subscribe for more content that protects your power